Planning and Zoning Commission special call meeting. Second item on the agenda is a public hearing. We will conduct a public hearing regarding a request by the owner agent to replant property situated in the city of Alstyne, Grayson County, being described as Carter CE Edition, Block 1, Lot 1, 2, and 3. 0.64 acres located on the south side of East Jefferson Street or FM 121 between 1159 East Jefferson Street and 1191 East Jefferson Street. Currently zoned single-family residential district. SF1. Would anyone like to make comments at this time? Anyone in favor? It's the proponent here. Yes, sir.
I'm Scott Moody. I'm the developer builder. How are you?
Mr. Moody, welcome. Thank you for being here.
We bought this property off of a gentleman named Justin Holly, which was a developer as well. It was kind of set up as a 3-lot, a little bitty lot type thing. And so we was going to try and build 3 small homes in there, and it just was too crowded. So I had conversations with Mr. McManus on the phone, and of course with Jennifer, and then also my architect and surveyor. We use the existing survey company, Underwood Surveyors. When I get into development, sometimes it's easier to go with the original surveying company rather than bring in another surveyor, because inevitably they find different, for some reason, they find different pins or different things. And so we went with Underwood Surveyors. Duggan was very reputable. And so we were basically trying to put 3 little nice little hardy style craftsman 1,200 square foot homes in there. Wasn't going to work. We started trying to, if it was going to work, they wasn't going to be square with the highway and look nice. So it was going to be kind of silly, and the tail it was going to be over too close, and we didn't want to have that tight of a squeeze. So we just basically have drawn it, Doug has drawn it to basically be 2 lots, and they're more feasible to what's in the area. And there's a variance request that we'll, I guess, cover tomorrow night for square footage space. But all we're trying to do right now is build 2 nice homes in there, hardy style craftsman, real custom homes there for sale. So that's just kind of the thing. And again, we just went with the original survey pins that have never been moved on the outside pins. And then we basically drew a line basically through the middle and changed it from 3 lots to 2 is what we're requesting.
Okay, let me ask a clarification question. When you said square footage variance, that is on the building?
No, on the building.
Okay.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with tonight's meeting or square footage of the lots or well runs of the city.
Yeah, it appears you have plenty of square footage on the lots.
Yeah.
They're in the 2.
It's just that the existing, I know this again, it's just a tomorrow thing, the existing is 1,800 square foot minimum building size, which is bigger than most any house on the street. And we're just trying to get that reduced to a reasonable amount.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
Would anyone else like to make comment, question?
May I ask him a question?
You can ask us. And
Okay, all right, yeah. He said he would split it down the middle. Why did he make one of them 75 feet and the other one 150? Is that oh, those are different. Oh, those are the, okay, never mind. That's the minutes.
Without answering
The 62.5 and 87.5.
Yeah,
Okay.
without answering your question, the reason why we chose the survey the way we did, the way those lots are sitting in there, let me rephrase it. So the way that parcel of land is sitting in there, it's crooked. It's just kind of funky. It's not even in line with the highway at all. So from a developmental standpoint, there's about 25 foot on the, and I'm the worst with directions, on the east, the northeast side. There's about 25 feet of just useless from that, basically that telephone pole that's there over to that driveway. It's pretty much just useless because you can't really build up there because you'd be right up on somebody. Even though technically could, I wouldn't dare want to do that. I want to make it look uniform. And then on Mr. Orr's property on the west side, they're back going into that creek. A lot of that's just kind of useless because we don't want to get over where it feels like, even though we legally may be able to build what it kind of feels like it's in their yard, I would never do that. We're trying to make everything solidify and line up with the street. But basically, the thing is just really cockeyed. If you look at the original three surveys that Underwood did, you can see it's just crooked from the road to start with. And by the time we tried to put three little nice 1,200 square foot houses in there, that's what I was hoping to do, is put three in there. But it got real tight, and by the time we lined up, but by the time we tried to twist them around and get them where they looked parallel with the road, perpendicular to the road, the butt end of the houses was like too far over into the other build line. It was just not possible. So all we were trying to do, I really don't care what happens on the back of the lots, because once we get into about 65 feet where those trees are and the creeks are, it's not usable anyway. It's not buildable. It's just nice to have, I guess, anybody that has a house there is going to be able to sit on their back porch and not ever see anything but trees, which is kind of nice for it to be such a busy street. But it was basically crooked to start with, and we basically went out there and decided if we build houses that are 45 feet wide or whatever, what do we have to do to make that physically work? And also, what's going to look the best to the neighbor to the left and to the right. Mr. Orr's got a lot of room on his side, on that west side. He's got a lot of room. He's got, a big oak tree and everything there. And we're probably going to end up being, I don't know, his house is probably 50 feet off his property. So we'll never even be close to that. And in fact, on the other side, our house will still be way, a long ways away from the other house. It's in there. But as it was sitting, three lots just wasn't, as a developer, three's better than two, right? But it just didn't work out. So we just we cut it back into two to make it where we feel like we could go in there. I'm trying to put a couple of 1,400 square foot nice homes in there. 3 bedroom, 2 bath. 8, 12 pitch, really pretty homes.
Yes, sir. Okay. So, yeah, to address your question, I see the
Yeah,
confusion, but it's
yeah.
actually 62 and a half and 87.
Right, I understand. I just read the wrong numbers.
Yeah,
I did realize they weren't equal, and I just wondered why.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that does, solve another one of our problems. Is my daughter lives right next door to the one that's 87.5, and he's saying that they're not going to build right next to her driveway, because that's one of their major concerns, is that they're not going to be able to see getting out of their driveway.
Okay,
And
that's on the
get
east
run
side?
over.
East side?
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to be way, way back off of that.
Right, so,
Way back off of that.
and,
There's 25 foot of useless area between that driveway and that telephone pole, pretty much. It's not even usable.
and how far back from the street you're going to build?
20 foot. We can't go more than the 20 back, or we're going into the creek. So the build line is 20 on the existing plats. So, and then there's an easement. I don't know what the easement is up there. It's probably 15 or 20 feet. So we'll probably be 35 feet off the road, at least.
Right, because the other houses are farther back from the road, and so these will be right out on the road.
They'll be about 35 feet off.
Of 35 feet?
Yes, sir, because the 20 foot's a build line, but then there's a huge easement in front of that.
Okay.
Yes, sir, about 35 to 40 feet, and we're trying to squeeze the houses between the creek and that area.
And there's another concern I have. You say you're not concerned about the back part, but I am, because it appears, that they may have set a rod in my pasture, where they may have jumped over my rock wall. I have a nice rock wall down through there, because I have all the leftover rock from El Lago. My brother gave it to me, whenever he built El Lago over in McKinney. And he's dead now, but my kids and I, we set that up 20 years ago, so we didn't have to maintain that fence along there, so there's going to be a property line dispute. I called my surveyor this morning, because he did a survey on it for ED before I acquired the property, but ED didn't pay him, so I wasn't given a copy of the survey. And so, but he's looking into it, and I may have to have him survey that again, to get this established.
And I would be very open to that. Obviously, I want it to be the right thing. One thing I don't do as a developer, it's not my job to set the boundaries.
I understand.
Yeah, it's an engineer. Now, I will tell you this much from the legal description. I don't know what you guys have there, but I've got the original. I got the real plat in my hand, And it basically states in here, when you look at the meets and bounds and the legal description, the very first thing they talk about is beginning at, I'm not going to go into the legal jargon, but they talk about steel rods that they found, not steel rods that they set. So these were existing monuments.
Well, they did set one on my property though, I think.
They may have reset one, I don't know.
Yeah, they set two in the back, they say.
Okay.
Here's a set half-inch steel rod, set half-inch steel rod on either side of the rear of the property. And my daughter's survey didn't go, hers is supposed to match up with yours, you know, according to her survey, you know, and at the town plat, that corner's supposed to be the same on the lot that's to the east of you as the one that you are trying to replat here.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to make sure that everything's right, you know, and that there's not any encroachment on my property.
Right, and I do too. Encroachments won't sell property anyway.
Right.
And the title, I originally bought this with a survey.
And I don't want to go into any adverse possession stuff or any of that, you know, if I can avoid it.
Obviously, if I had 10 foot less on the back, it wouldn't affect the property at all to me.
Right.
So I just want it right too.
Yeah.
So whatever legally y'all, we need to do, just to instruct me to do so.
May I
Lynn,
have
if
you,
you would pitch in, I don't know.
Okay,
Lynn.
yeah, we'll do that, you know.
Yeah, well, this is for the replat,
Yeah, I understand.
Mr.
That's another
Mr.
issue.
Well, but we need to make a public record here, so.
Right.
Just since you have raised the question, Mr. Harmon can get his surveyor in, and the Underwoods can talk about it. They can come up and determine the final boundaries of where they are, and then, you know, do any minor Scrivener errors or adjustments if they need to.
Exactly,
To do
this is a
that.
preliminary.
Yeah, well, that is the replat, and, you know, as part of your discretion here, you know, it does meet the replat does meet all the requirements of the city. So, you know, that's going forward. The issues with the boundary can be done in the meantime while we're still in the process of getting the final plats.
Yeah, and it may be,
ready-
you're
ready
talking
to
about,
file.
it could possibly be months before we even.
Right, we can do a boundary line agreement, you know, I just want enough room to work on the fence, you know, on each side, because my rocks fall down and things, because it's kind of a cliff back there, but that land is pretty much useless down in there, there's a bunch of poison ivy, I don't think you want to be down in there anyway. I was down in there this morning, looking around, trying to figure out what was going on, because they just sent me my letter on the 5th, you know, and then just got, I didn't even get it out of my mailbox until Sunday. And so I didn't have any time to do anything. And I didn't have time to call him, talk to him, or anything.
no, I appreciate you being here to raise those questions.
You bet. Me too.
Yep, okay, any other comments?
It just sounds like a possible boundary issue, agreement or disagreement or whatever, just figuring that out.
Yes, sir.
You know, just again, my heart's in a good place. I want to make it right. So I'm not that guy from Dallas, Texas coming in here to take everybody's land. And I was born and raised in Alstyne, graduated from high school here, so.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're not a
All we're trying to do
carpetbagger.
is put a couple of nice out, huh? What'd you say?
I'm glad you're not a carpetbagger.
Well, Lynn and I talked a lot from a year on this probably, so I mean,
Yeah.
I know what we need to do, but if these boundaries won't be between me or any buyer or any of the landowners. They're going to be between the surveyors.
Yes, sir.
GPS being safe. Right?
I have one more question. Are these going to be like Section 8 houses, or?
No. These are beautiful,
Okay.
8, 12 pitch, 10-foot ceiling. They're probably, if anything, they're, other than the brick home across the street,
Oh, yeah.
they would be overbuilding. I mean, they'd be nice homes. I mean, if you could, I have a website, you can look at our custom homes we do in Denison, Texas, and they're just going to be really cute. I mean, my wife's a Pinterest nut, so they're going to be darn little hardy siding homes. So.
The other reason I asked, because my son-in-law was worried about everybody out there parking in the ditch and everything, you know, because some of those people like that, you know, they have to live in those houses. They have a lot of kids and things, and they don't have any place to park. They were worried about their view, you know, being able to get out of that driveway without getting killed, you know, because it's already dangerous down through there,
It is.
especially with the sun, you know, and the afternoons and in the mornings, you know, because it just lines up straight with the road. I don't know what they were thinking when they designed those roads. They
One
should
final
have.
comment on the actual outlay of what we're trying to do there. I'm not a big, privacy fence guy out by the road where you can't see around stuff. Obstruction of view is really critical for me.
Okay.
So just so you know, because it's already going to be, these $150,000 houses is probably all they're going to be, and they're going to be, you're going to get a lot of FHA loans, and these are going to be people with kids, and they're going to be coming in and out of there every day.
Mhm.
And it's going to be critical even in the design of the flat work that I get where people can maybe back out before they come out, make things where it's, working.
I'm confident the city won't let you obstruct the view.
Right, even if they would,
Yeah.
I'm not into that because of safety.
Yep. Okay. Any other comments from the public? Thank you all again for your participation. Definitely valuable. Hearing none, I would declare the public hearing to be closed, and we will move to the regular agenda, which is item 3. I will dispense with rereading this. It is the same item we just discussed. It's time for the commission to ask any questions or comments that we may have. Anyone have any thoughts?
Pretty straightforward.
I think we just covered all of them.
Yeah, I'll just say I appreciate you not trying to put houses in there and seeking a lot of issues with lot size and variances, all that kind of thing, so it's.
We're stuck in a lot of these 50 by 150s in Denison, the affordable housing market.
Yes, sir.
It's a nightmare trying to cram houses. That's not what we're wanting to do here at all. I'm actually wanting to, Van Alstyne's a hot place to build.
Yes, sir.
We built a nice home over here on Wade Street, and so it, could have sold it 20 times. So we just want to put some nice little homes in there that will enhance the area
Appreciate it.
and be selective with who we sell to.
I just wish you could have got the land cheaper, because my taxes just keep going up.
Well, we won't even go there.
Okay, anyone else with comments?
Ours will be a recommendation to the city council, or is it something that we actually have the authority to do? We're making a
It's different
recommendation.
council. Yes, sir.
They get final say, but yeah, so I suppose it is a recommendation.
I'd like to make a motion.
Please do.
I move that we recommend to the city council that this property be replatted to 2 lots per the agenda.
I have a motion to recommend to the council that the replat be approved.
Second.
There is a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Motion carries. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Thank you all for your comments as well.
Sure.
Item 4, city manager's report. Anything of which we should be aware of?
Am I free to go? I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. You are. Thank you, sir.
And tomorrow night, 6:30, our meeting.
We won't be here, but the council will.
Correct?
Yeah,
Am I right,
ZBA
Jennifer?
ZBA
Thank
starts
you.
at 6:30.
Appreciate it, John.
You bet.
And lady.
Who's asking me your name?
No, Scott.
Scott, you get it, Jerry?
Yes, Mom.
Oh, okay.
City Commissioners, tomorrow night's council meeting. ZBA agenda is the variance to fit the homes on the property, and he's requesting reduce the minimum building size and to reduce the front yard setback. And that's it for the ZBA. The regular agenda is his replat that y'all just considered. Lynn will be presenting the shared use path, Phase 2, which will just go from North Park to FM 121 if council approves, and be coming to CDC and EDC to request up to $40,000 each. Reason it's only going from North Park down to 121, next year's anticipated to be a lean year with low home starts and Caterpillar vacating the building for this year's assessment. But we do want to stay in the project till, and we want to get the shared use path done over a reasonable time frame. Audit will be tomorrow night, so that'll be exciting. And so council will hear about the replat, then they'll take action on the replat. First Southwest will be giving a presentation on our bond capacity to consider doing bond, CO, or just a tax note on Baptist Church property and construction of new facilities in the future. Other than that, council that'd be about it besides executive session. New council members will have need to be sworn in before the 17th. So hopefully that'll probably be done next Tuesday or Wednesday. Other than that, if y'all have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
That little winery going in next to the Baptist property?
Mhm.
I thought I saw some buildings or something going in.
Tom's contractor's been just plugging away at it, so looks like he's just moving along at whatever pace they're at. So, yep, looks like a good thing.
And you saw the screening wall foundation is being poured on the Horton and the Stone Hollow versions along Village Parkway and Kelly.
Yes, sir.
So you'll start seeing brick walls go up and the screening.
What's going in up on Blythe, the corner there where Chrissy's Fireworks?
Oh, I saw that. It's like a foundation.
There's a foundation going in.
It's outside the city. So, yes, sir. It's inside the ETJ, but if the property's already the way it's supposed to be, then we're not going to see that, and neither will y'all. So, what else can y'all think of?
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
Might there be any other questions, comments? Motion, things for business? We are ready for a motion. Or we can just declare the
A
motion.
motion to adjourn?
A motion to adjourn, is there a second?
Yes.
Bob seconded it. I heard that. Thank you. All right, we have a motion to adjourn. All in favor, please say aye.